Hi, I just wanted to say that I am not a speaker. This is my first speaking engagement. I am just a person with a story. And my original speech that I wrote was going to be, the train wreck doesn't have to happen, meaning that there are signs that we're giving all the time, and if we just pay attention to those signs, that we can actually change our course, and we don't have to have devastation in our lives. But after hearing Leslie Elliott speak this morning, I knew that I had to go a little bit deeper into this story, because I resonate a lot with Sophie's story, because my ex-husband was very much a controller and emotional abuser, and I got in a situation where I was being isolated and controlled and emotionally abused, and all the signs were there. But because he was a very influential person in the community, a very wealthy man, it was very hidden. So there were no outward signs, so people didn't know what was really truly happening. And in all of that, he was very coy about the way he handled it all. He made sure there were never witnesses, and he was always letting me know that because of who he was, that no one would ever believe me over him. And that was true. They wouldn't. I tried. And the other conflict in this was because everything he did publicly was under the guise of kindness. People thought that I was really lucky to be in the position I was in, and very fortunate to have a guy like him in my life. They didn't know the truth. And so for myself, I was always conflicted in my situation. I had the signs inward, I had the outward signs, but because everyone kept telling me I was so lucky, I kept questioning it all. So I doubted myself and what I knew. And so I stayed. And eventually it got to a point where I couldn't stay anymore. And then I tried to get out, which took a very long time to get out. It took 6 years of my life where I literally lived in fear of being harmed physically, and cost me tons of money, and eventually did get away, but at a huge cost. I was left homeless and penniless. I was in my 40s having to start life completely over, and just really trying to pick up the pieces. And in all of that, I learned, when I looked back, I saw there were so many signs. You know, I should have just listened. So I just started questioning, can we really prevent it from happening? You know, if we do pay attention to those signs. And so I did come to the conclusion that we do have that choice. You know, we just need to be aware, and we need to listen to our inner guts, our inner voices. They are always speaking to us to try to get us to do what is right for us and to protect us. So that's my whole message, is just pay attention to those signs. And despite what everyone else in your life is trying to tell you, you know, listen to that more than anything, because that is truly what's going to save you from having the train wreck from happening. And I, fortunately for me, was spared what Sophie had to go through. But I did pay to some degree, but fortunately not to the degree that she did. So that's my message, is just please pay attention to the signs, because they are there. Thank you.